In the landscape of figure photography, one group strived for tangible and dynamic displays.
No time to explain. Get in the rows.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, let's go.
We are live, Bug.
Oh, we are live. Yes, sir.
We're officially back at it.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say, is even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene. It's the bigger love of the family.
The Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast is filmed in front of a live virtual audience and is funded in part by viewers just like you. Thank you.
Are we live?
I believe so. Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. Book Nice coming at you with the Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast, episode 354. Right?
Close.
254.
No, where are you going? 352.
352.
Episode 352. I'm your host, Book Nice. I got my boys with me, Pan, Cheesy, Rick Dom, D Walt. We are here on a Sunday evening, which is kind of unusual, but not really, because we used to record on Sundays sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, before we even jump in, am I going to be the only one with their camera on today?
You could turn your camera off. It's okay.
No, but does nobody else have on their Sunday best? The people want to see your faces.
No, I am. You know my situation over here. So.
All right, I'm gonna turn mine on. There we go.
Wait, Poncho's turning his on.
There we go.
Okay. All right.
We got
everybody's looking equally scummy, so it's all good.
Scummed out on a Sunday for the Lord.
This has been the longest. This week has been the longest year ever, bro.
This week.
This shit's been crazy. But good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you too. So we just want to tap in real quick on a Sunday night because we did not record on Friday, or did we?
No.
Me and Poncho.
Friday.
Me and Poncho were on a show.
Oh, that's right. You guys went on to
Lagos
to talk Daima, right?
Hell yeah.
All right. So we didn't record. These guys went on to talk Daima. We're gonna talk Daima real quick here too. I guess you could fill us in.
I don't do it.
Don't do
that. I don't even know if P want to talk Daima with me. I know I be getting on P's nerves.
Well, David, all you have to do is watch the show, and then maybe I wouldn't get on my nerves too much.
I do watch it. I watch it. I just don't be locked in like that. And you look. I know every time I come with a question, I can feel your energy, bro. You be like, this fucking casual. All right, yeah.
It was answered in the show.
All right. But anyway, yes, I'd love to chat it with you guys and hear what people got to say in the chat, because I cannot be the only one that is tired of watching this show and needing like additional Cliff's notes from like the experts to fill in the gaps. That's what it feels like with Daima.
Okay.
Yeah, we all loved it on our stream. Me, Chamba, Lago, Poncho. We're all fans. Nothing but great things to say.
We're all fans. So
all right, well let's go ahead and dive into that. Let's take 5 minutes and
yeah, not long.
We'll talk about Daima. So for the unanointed, this was Toriyama's last kind of hurrah. Am I right?
Oh well, it was just a hurrah that happened to be his last one.
Okay.
Unexpected passing.
Unexpected. This wasn't right. Okay, got it. He was done with this though before he passed, or no?
It's tough to say. I would imagine so, just because of scheduling. He passed 6 months before it came out, so I'd imagine almost all of it was done, except maybe like animation and stuff like that.
Okay, all right. And this series was how many episodes?
20.
Well,
20.
It was that was 20 episodes.
That's crazy.
It was.
That is crazy. That shit went by quick.
All right, so 20 episodes. Give us the skinny P on like where we are in the timeline. Where does this take place, and where does it fall after whatever the last series was? What was the most recent series that we had before this one?
Super is the last series.
Super. Okay.
So Superhero does not count because that's a special.
I mean, Superhero is a movie that happens in canon, but it's just a movie. It's not a series.
All right.
Okay. All right. So fill us in. Give us the rundown.
Well, it just takes place after the Boo arc, and then allegedly before Super. But allegedly. So that's where we're at.
All right. Tell me why everybody was little.
Everybody's pressed because it doesn't connect to Super. Which
no. You mean like why are they children?
Oh, why are they? Sorry.
In stature. And,
we don't have to go through all this, do we? I don't need to talk.
Yeah. So big picture, like if I were to summarize it, the Z Fighters end up in the demon realm post Boo Saga. We find out that the demon realm can we talk spoilers? Are we talking spoilers? People should know this because 20 episodes in, right? So we find out that the demon realm are where the Nameks are actually from.
Okay.
Which is pretty dope. That was a good, new piece of lore. However, the demon realm is broken up into like 3 different sections. The new leader of the demon realm, you're gonna have to sub in names because this G dude, Gamora.
Goma.
Okay. This little dude turns them little because he's like, yo, we can stop him, whatever. So long story short, it ends up being this is again casuals POV. It feels like this show is supposed to be like the canonical, is that how you say that word? The canon version of Dragon Ball GT, or at least that's what it was. I thought it was shaping up to be.
Okay.
Because
I get that based on the conversation that you guys have had and I was having. Okay. All right.
So big strokes. We're introduced to new Dragon Balls. Instead of having to collect 7 in the demon realm, you got to collect 3. They go on like an adventure, like one of those friends we made along the way type adventures. And Vegeta ends up turning, again, if I'm going too spoilery, just let me know. Vegeta ends up turning into a new form on the show that we've never seen before, which is cool.
Okay. That we never seen before for Vegeta or period?
For Vegeta.
All right.
And Goku ends up turning Super Saiyan 4 for the first time in canon. We've seen Super Saiyan 4 Goku before, but they updated the look, which I think for the most part, you would know better than me, Rick and P, but I think for the most part, the community has been happy with the new look. There have been some subtle changes to the appearance.
It's split. I mean, the community split on this whole thing, like down the middle, I would imagine.
Cool. And then it all surmises with a super extended fight between Goku and the Big Bad. We're introduced to some new versions of Majin Buu, or some variations, Demon Realm versions of Majin Buu, which is kind of cool for a hot second.
They're just new Majins. They're not versions of Majin Buu. They're just.
But they are though, because they used his DNA to make them.
I could see how you can come to that. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not a new version of
but again, layman, casual. So to me, they were like Demon Realm versions of Majin Buu.
Okay.
Look,
if you wanna talk, I guess if Goten is a new version of Goku, then yeah, sure.
Okay, well, I guess he uses the DNA. So anyway, the saga concludes with them bouncing. They turn back to adults, of course, and then they bounce back to their world, like they're taken back to their world. So for me, the thing that has been my biggest gripe with all of this has been, we know what comes after this, because we've had a whole series of Super, we've had a whole other tournament, we've had a whole new form for both Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo, even at this point. You know what I'm saying? And through all of this, where do these new forms that we've seen for Vegeta and Goku land when you know what happens at the end and you go back and try to create kind of like a prequel?
Okay.
So that's my summary of Daima.
I hear that. And P, what's all of the 77 things that's wrong that he just said?
I mean, broad strokes. I think the biggest issue is everybody just assumed it was canon based off one interview in Japanese. I don't think this is canon, to be quite honest. I just think it's just some shit they did. The same way that when GT came out, everybody thought that was canon, but then it just wasn't. It's just a story he tells. The same way that the movies aren't canon, but they fit in the timeline. So the way this show fits in after Boo, but before Super, is the same way that like Return of Cooler fits in after they defeat Frieza, but before Trunks shows up. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's just like a story to tell. Like, the biggest thing is this show was originally just supposed to be some show that they made because they couldn't make more Super, and they just they thought it was a good time to tell this story, and it was going to be put on a website. It was a web series. And then Akira Toriyama passed, and then it blew up into something bigger than it was because they put it on, Fuji TV, which is like the channel in Japan. And so there was an interview where somebody asked, is this canon? And then the guy said, yeah, it takes place after Boo. But I don't think canon means different stuff in Japan. So it's never been clarified if it is canon. I think people just assumed it was supposed to fit in. And because it's not fitting in, people are judging it negatively because it isn't fitting in.
Who's going to make that? Who's ultimately going to make the determination whether or not it's canon? Is that something that happens in the manga, or how does that work?
I mean, like it's different. Like specifically with Dragon Ball, it's so strange. I mean, when you're talking about like Eastern canon, like it's anything written by like the person who created the series. So Akira Toriyama did write the show. So he wrote the story. He did not write the screenplay or anything like that. So he just did the same thing he's been doing for Super. He writes an overall story, and then he entrusts it in his staff, and then they write the screenplays and all that stuff. So like, I mean, there are ways that you can make this show canon for sure.
You could literally make this show canon with one sentence.
Yeah, basically.
So like, it just, they could totally do it if they wanted to in the future. It could be in the manga. It could be anything they want if they truly want to.
For sure.
And I think they should, because there were a lot of really cool things introduced in Daima. Like, I want to go back to the Demon Realm. Like, I liked it there. I thought it was cool. And I think that there's a lot of meat still left on the bone. No Diddy.
Plenty of meat left on that bone.
For them to go back and explore some really cool concepts and make some of this stuff canon. P, you actually had a really cool theory about like what could make this work in the timeline and why we don't see these forms again. Shit, it made sense to me, but not seeing it in the show is what's frustrating. So don't let my tone like convey that I didn't like those 20 episodes of Daima. Truthfully, what I told P and Rick was, watching this made me want to go back and watch Dragon Ball fully for the first time, because I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool. Just that I don't like that it didn't connect very well, and it wasn't a clean like connection.
True, but then my main rebuttal to a statement like that is like, maybe it wasn't even meant to connect in the first place.
I know.
And like, that could have been easily. I understand, like here in the West, and especially like in our day and age of like media we consume, MCU, like all of that stuff, we want everything to connect, but like they just don't give a shit about that stuff sometimes. Like honestly, so like especially with Dragon Ball, like the biggest biggest piece of evidence is Dragon Ball GT. Like, Dragon Ball GT took place after the events of Dragon Ball Z, but it's not canon.
Yeah. And Toriyama ended up working on some of GT, didn't he?
He provided some stuff, but not a lot at all. It was basically 99% Toei Animation. Like, the rumor going around for a super long time was Super Saiyan 4 was designed by Toriyama. That's not true at all. Super Saiyan 4 is designed by another animator who also redesigned this Super Saiyan 4. So, like,
Nakatsuru.
Yeah, Nakatsuru.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that. So then there, even in that Toriyama touching any part of GT still did not make it canon. So again, the rules of, like, if the original creator has a part of it, then that's what makes it canon. But that's still not the case with GT.
No. So my bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It just I don't know. That's why canon gets like so muddy with like stuff like that, because simply just because the creator of something creates something, it doesn't immediately put it into canon. Like, there's tons of, I mentioned this in our private chat, there's tons of pictures that Toriyama drew where Goku's in like an F1 racer and like smoking cigarettes, and he's on like motorcycles and like doing crazy shit. Like, it doesn't mean he's like an F1 racer, like race car driver or anything. I just don't know. Ultimately, I view Daima as something contained. 20 episodes of Daima. That's how I judge it, and I really enjoyed it. That's it for me.
Okay, I know. David, you didn't love the ending. Why?
Not that I didn't love it. I just, what I saw, what they introduced, the new characters that they introduced, the new powers that they introduced, I don't want that to go away. I don't want it to be contained to just 20 episodes. I want to continue to explore. Again, my biggest thing always for Dragon Ball Z has always been the branching pathways to power. And, I like everybody. I feel like it just adds depth to allow people to have different pathways for growth. I think they've left a lot of really good and interesting characters behind because the focus has shifted so heavily to Goku and Vegeta. So again, this continued, like, there was opportunity there to really add some depth to Piccolo, because I felt like they were leaning into that whole story a lot in the beginning of Daima about how this is the true home world, the home dimension of the Nameks. There's a shit ton of story to be told there. And for Piccolo not really to do anything in Daima kind of sucked for me as somebody who likes Piccolo, because you really could flesh that character out a lot. And we've seen Piccolo get a new form later in Superhero that could have been tied back directly to some of the events that happened in Daima. But again, P had to kind of like bring me back down. And he was like, hold on, bro. None of this was ever the plan. Like, this Daima came after all of that other shit transpired. So while it sounds good to say in hindsight, that was never its intention.
How would you connect his like orange form to Daima?
Bruh, they literally call him Orange Piccolo. Why not call him Demon Piccolo? And that power up that he got is something that was like attained either the same way Neva unlocked Super Saiyan 4 and Goku. Why couldn't Neva unlock something in Piccolo? Why couldn't Piccolo get a glow up going to his home dimension that unlocked something in him that later leads to that being his demon form?
Because he ain't the main character, bro.
I'm about to blow your mind. The reason he's called Orange Piccolo is because Dragon Balls are orange, and the reason that correlation happens is because when the original Namek that came to Earth split off into good and bad Kami and then Demon King Piccolo, Kami created the Dragon Balls, and then Shenron remembers he created the Dragon Balls. So when Shenron reconnects with Piccolo in Dragon Ball Superhero, he realizes that Piccolo has re-merged with Kami. So he sees Piccolo as Kami, his original creator, and gives him a power based on Namek and the Dragon Ball. So that's why he's orange.
Wow. Okay.
That's why he is orange, which is cool. He's called Orange Piccolo.
Well, Piccolo calls himself Orange Piccolo.
So how do you know?
Because the gag is he's not good at naming him, like coming up with forms and like names.
Yeah, he's not creative.
How do you know that tidbit of information? Is that in the manga?
No, I mean it's just like that's the point of why like it's just I don't know, because of all the knowledge that I know, like that's the conclusion that it comes to. Like it's very nice that Shenron gives Piccolo.
So they didn't say it, but you just have to know your shit and be on top of it.
If you know enough, like it's easy to connect the dots, I would imagine.
All right. Well,
Layers.
okay. Where do we go? Real quick, we got 1 minute. Where do we go from? Where do we go from here? What do you think might be next? Obviously, we lost the man. We know that doesn't mean that Dragon Ball will stop, but like, what happens now? Where does it go? Where do you think that it will go? Where would you like to see it go?
Well, I mean, like he's officially like handed it off to Toyotaro, so Toyotaro will continue Dragon Ball for sure.
Yeah.
In terms of what
I was just gonna say, and we kind of know where it goes because we know the next manga that takes place after Super. So
yeah,
we know what the next arc is, but that also doesn't touch on anything that happened in Daima either.
Okay.
No. But like, I mean, in terms of Daima, like, I don't know. People are saying that like Daima leaves itself open for season 2. There are loose threads that can leave itself open for season 2, but I think like what everybody is interpreting as like a nudge for here comes a season 2 is not that at all. It's just the Toriyama joke, like that people are all like, oh, this must mean there's Super 2, but it's just a joke.
Yeah, I can see that.
Was it overall, was it contained enough for, do you guys think that it was contained enough for most people to be like, all right, I'm good with just a one and done for this? Or are people really clamoring for more?
And people probably want more because Daima was so good.
Agreed.
And it was so Toriyama, like in every way possible.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the reason people really want more. It is contained, so like the main it's been like what 6 months since it came out, and maybe like 4 months or something. But like the main plot of Daima is that there's a new Demon King. The new Demon King is Goma, because Deborah used to be the old Demon King, but then he was taken over by Bibidi, and then he died. So there's like a power vacuum in the demon realm. Goma becomes the new Demon King, and he's like going over footage of how Deborah died, and he sees Goku and all of them, and he's all like, well, what if, and he misinterprets them going after Deborah like they are a threat to him. So he's like, I'll turn them into kids so they're not a threat to me. So the whole like the main point of Daima is Goma trying to like what do you call it? Trying to grab that power vacuum of like there not being a new Demon King. And then by the end of Daima, a new Demon King is crowned. And so it's pretty wrapped up. I will say to like
the way you explain it.
The one thing that I won't say the one thing, but one thing that David and I do really agree on is the use of Piccolo. Like, it would have been so fucking cool if Piccolo was the one to defeat Goma, because he could be crowned as the Demon King Piccolo again, just like his father in Dragon Ball. That would have been the illest shit ever. And then he could have just been like,
cast it off.
I don't want it. Like, here, you do it. That would have been rad. That would have been really cool, like full circle shit. But like,
that's full circle. Damn, you took the words out of it. I was about to say that's full circle shit. Like, yeah, I agree.
That is my biggest complaint about Daima, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And then like I've been seeing a lot of stuff around like the community, like they agree like that, like the biggest thing today was like, I don't understand how Piccolo can be Akira Toriyama's favorite character, because he just does nothing all the time. And then but then people so easily forget that he's the main character of Dragon Ball Superhero. That's literally his movie when you think about it. At the end, Gohan comes in for sure, but like, dog, it's him for like 50 minutes just doing everything.
The argument that Gohan is as much of a secondary character to Piccolo as Gohan was supposed to be the successor to Goku. Like their relationship, in my opinion, took on like a father-son, a father-son type relationship in Z. So I agree. I do think Super was also Piccolo's movie too.
Yeah, Superhero was definitely a Piccolo movie.
Superhero, sorry. Yeah.
And at the last question, at the end of this, how many figures did we get out of Daima from SHF? So, or
This-
how many are we slated to
A
have?
lot.
Yeah, this show, you can hear the like money, the cha-ching sound in the background as they play the theme song because they're gonna make a shit ton of characters from this.
Okay.
Yeah, they've shown a lot. They've only like confirmed that they're like gonna list like most of them soon. The only two that don't have like any sort of time frame is just Ponzi and Glorio, right?
Yeah, they're the only two. And then
Everybody else has like a date.
and then the new
already.
figure they showed off today doesn't have a date, but I mean it's gonna.
was
It's
the-
No,
gonna
it does. It does have a date.
Oh, it
it's
does?
August
Okay.
August 2025.
Oh, no shit.
What's the newest figure? I was about to ask you if anything came out of Toy
Oh
Fair.
yeah, we could just go into that now. We'll start with that and then
What a
we'll
segue.
yeah.
All right. So for those that don't know, New York Toy Fair is a once annual event in New York City. It used to be called the International New York Toy Fair or something like that, if I remember correctly. But so yeah, once a year, all the professionals in the business get together, distributors and buyers and the press, and they start rolling out product for the rest of the year or showing what's going to come for the rest of the year. People will from different retailers will come and see how much of the product they want to order. It's a professionals event. It's not open to the public. And the only way that we, A.C.B.A, gets access is through our press credentials. So, so yeah, it was quite a few different like influencers throughout the community that were there and that were reporting and doing stuff. But yeah, what came out for DBZ?
Hold on, I can screen share real quick and
So yeah, all of the major toy companies, and when I say toy, I mean toys, not just the stuff that the people that frequent this channel are interested in terms of like action figures and stuff like that. Like we talking toys. Like
Yeah, children's toys, mini brands galore. You fucking name it.
Yeah.
All types of stuffed animals. Like honestly, the action figure scene at Toy Fair is dwarfed by all of the other type of toys.
Oh yeah.
So
can I ask, as someone that goes to both, which do you prefer? Do you prefer Toy Fair or New York Comic Con?
Well, I prefer Toy Fair for how laid back it is and how you could actually move around, and it's you're not pressed because you can't buy anything. There's nothing for sale. I mean, unless you doing like big numbers, doing big business for your company. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing like a convention with all of the camaraderie and like meeting up with people, and the buying shit is equally exhausting and exhilarating. So it is what it is. Nothing really compares to the Mecca, which is San Diego Comic Con. But I do like having a toy event where you are not hard pressed though to really like do anything except report basically.
Okay.
I will say that
go ahead.
The last time we were at SDCC was probably the perfect marriage of con and Toy Fair because of that goddamn press room, baby.
The
press
baby.
room gave us all the laid back vibes I could have ever
Premium
wanted.
snacks.
Yeah,
when I tell you that we were in the press room this year, all day long, you better fucking believe it.
Yeah, Toy Fair's press room was okay today too. I swung by there just to drop my jacket off, but they did have quite a bit of donuts and water and stacks and all types of stuff.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Just like simply having a place to just like chill and relax at SDCC, like completely elevates it because if you don't have that, it is grueling. Just walking around,
you literally just sitting on the floor if you don't have that.
You can, you pray to find a empty spot on the carpet. It's had like 2 million feet and the shoes soles go over. It's terrible. But the press room like really killed it. All right, okay. This was they revealed a new Piccolo.
Oh, okay. And this is in the art style of Daima, but he's normal size.
Yeah, this is adult Daima Piccolo.
Okay, got it.
And here it is.
All right. So what is that? A soft goods cape?
Soft goods cape. First soft good capes on an adult Piccolo for sure.
Wow,
Nice.
looks clean.
Yeah, this looks good.
All right, how we feeling about these knees though?
Yeah, the main source of contention is the knees for sure. As I don't know, like it is a design choice for sure. I'm always I'm a glass half full type of person, so I'm interested to see where this goes. My hope is that it just has, if as long as it has the same range as like the double jointed knees, it doesn't really matter to me. I can understand that all the adults in the Daima line have this style of knee, so it makes sense that Piccolo has it too. But like, if there's one thing I don't really care for, it's just how thick this part is right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if they made it any thinner, it would just compromise the what do you call it? The structural integrity of where that pin is. So I get it. As long as it moves okay, I'm cool. I do like.
Well, you know, the first time we saw something like this, it was done so perfectly right out the gate, and that was with Tanjiro from SHF.
Yeah.
He was the first one to have the knee like that, but he did it. They did his different, where for some reason Piccolo's is like swooping down, and Tanjiro's is scooped up, like in the form of like a triangle almost, so that it's like following the seam and it's thin on the sides. I don't know why.
Is his similar too or no?
Yeah, go to like a bent knee.
Let's see. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that's the same one right there. Look
Yeah.
at that. Look at how thin
Yeah.
it is, and how it's peaked instead of like drops down.
Mhm.
You know?
I do
Does that
prefer
knee
that.
overlap? Does that knee overlap on top of the bend right there, Nick?
Yeah.
Rick?
So when you see him standing, it's like
Yeah.
super flush. Like look at that. Like there's no problem with that. You know, I wish Piccolo would have been done like that, and that it wasn't so thick, like you said on the sides there. It's just
Yeah.
really strangely thick.
It looks old, like the thickness on the sides
I
make
can
it
see
look
that.
like an old single jointed knee.
Mhm.
So you guys will know better than me. Is this new ab articulation underneath
I was
the
about to say,
cape?
this is the thing that gets me most excited because like this cut right here is so interesting to me. This is
I
brand
don't know
new.
what's going on there.
Absolutely brand new. I would imagine it's just a way for them to implement some sort of like more range with the ab crunch, because like it is pretty clear that there is ab crunch underneath this layer of clothing, and this is just a way to get more movement out of it. Like with Goku and Vegeta, it's just like soft plastic, but like them adding this cut right here, you know, that could definitely open up more avenues for a deeper ab crunch for sure, which I invite.
That seems very American.
It's an interesting design choice because it does break up the sculpt in a way that we're not used to seeing, because we all know that his gi is not designed that way with that deep V, but it is, once you have the cape over the top of it, I'm sure the extra articulation is welcomed. So
yeah,
true. I will say that like these cuts and these sculpts, I understand the philosophy for it, because when he's just posed up like this straight up, like
that looks great.
it's cut with the folds of like his pants, the way Akira Toriyama like draws pants for sure.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. I can even understand it right here, like because there would be two folds. They wouldn't necessarily go all the way up to like the shirt opening for his arms and stuff, but like I see the vision for sure. I see the vision. But ultimately it just depends like how it moves. If it moves just as well as your like the standard 3.0 sculpt, then I'm cool.
So this is a fun take. When you go back to like all the photos you were flipping through, one thing about Daima, why I said that you can hear the sound of the cash machine or the money counting machine during the intro title is because they get to double dip and sell you kid versions and adult versions
Oh yeah, no
of
question.
all these characters from Daima,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
you know,
like, I agree with you. They really should have given Piccolo some sort of glow up, so they could have just sold him twice, four times.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I didn't swing by Bandai. Was this on display over there today, or this just came out?
No.
You know,
Yeah,
it was revealed just as Toy Fair was going on.
yeah,
Yes.
it was just revealed. Like even the newest figure that was revealed earlier this week, the mini Super Saiyan 4 Goku. This isn't even at Toy Fair, unfortunately. This is in their Tokyo store, like their like headquarters in Tokyo. But it is out for public display, which is pretty cool.
At the McFarlane Fist, huh? This is a theme this week.
Well,
fists
these
are
are
that big.
Yeah, these are intentional. This is part of the new Super Saiyan 4 design. Put the mitts on you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, thank you for that insight into everything happening with Daima. Is there anything else important that we need to touch on from Bandai or anything like that?
I will say that at Toy Fair, they did actually have the Goku and Vegeta on display.
They did. Yeah.
In
their box, and then Lago.
The chest writing on it.
Yeah, shout out to Lago Figs. He got this video.
Yeah, big shout out to Lago because he actually sent me a little bit of footage to fill in for some things that I was.
Hell yeah. That's the boy.
Yeah, huge shout out, dude. This video that Lago took is absolutely everywhere in the Dragon Ball figure community right now. Everyone is stealing this shit. Absolutely everybody is stealing this shit. Lago, next year, do yourself a favor. Put your watermark right in the fucking middle like Toy Shiz did.
In the middle of that shit.
Just like Toy Shiz did. When I saw Toy Shiz do that, and like your gut reaction is like, why? But then immediately, like not even a second later, you're like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people snatching up people's stuff from Toy Fair and using it. And I saw like sworn enemies using shit.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Different stuff. It was crazy.
I was like, wait a minute, doesn't he hate this guy? What's going on?
Right.
Here?
Like, all right, that's how we know this is hot footage right now for real.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, yesterday was the first day of Toy Fair, by the way. And yesterday Hasbro had their little they had their booth there at Toy Fair. First of all, the bigger companies at Toy Fair were kind of like cordoned off where you couldn't even see what they had going on. And the only way that you could see the product is if you had an appointment to get in there and get with the reps and see the product. Some of the other smaller companies, you could just walk up and walk through and chat and take pictures and whatever the case may be. But it wasn't like that with like Mattel and Hasbro. Hasbro was like off in the corner somewhere and they had security and you just could not even go in there unless you had an appointment to get in there, basically. So yesterday they, had most of the new stuff out on display that we saw over the past like 3 live streams. And then they also showed off some stuff for the first time. And then they had a little like fan press event at like 6 o'clock yesterday. I did not go down to the Javits Center at all yesterday because I wasn't in contact with the PR person. I don't know what happened, what the disconnect was, and I didn't get in contact with PR until today. So I didn't want to like advised against going down there to catch the happy sad, basically, to go down there and be able to get in because I do have press credentials to get in, but not be able to see Hasbro and report on it or whatever. So I didn't bother even doing that yesterday, but today everything did work out and I was able to go down there. But the only thing was that the new stuff that they showed off yesterday was no longer on display today. It was only out for the press event, basically. So all
Yes.
of that new stuff that we saw was not there when I was there today. And so again, shout out to Lago. He actually gave me some of the footage from the stuff from the previous day. The one thing that obviously was there and one of the most attractive things was the Maximum Spider-Man. Though I did see it, I did get to mess around with it. I did bring 3 other Spider-Man with me in my pocket and broke them out and compared them and made the reps extremely uncomfortable when I did that.
So like, hey, Ryan Tink said we could.
But yeah, shout out to Ryan, shout out to Dan, also shout out to Brandon, who I had reached out to all of them individually, just trying to figure out the whole press situation and get through. And also shout out to Whitney too, because she definitely came out and got me and vouched for me and got me in. So I wasn't able to interview any of the team because they were long gone, but I did get in and get quite a bit of time with Spider-Man and quite a bit of footage. So this right here on a little loop is just the Maximum Spider-Man alongside the Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man, the first release, which is sort of like the blackish color, but you can see that the stature is about the same. And honestly, this is my favorite Marvel Legends Spider-Man on the right now is the Amazing Fantasy 15. Before I knew anything about Maximum Spider-Man or got to see this, I think Amazing Fantasy 15 is one of their best figures. The only thing that's really missing was the toe joints.
Which people found a workaround for, right?
Yes, for sure. People started swapping the feet from the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man onto here. Shout out to Kip Ash Customs because I think he was the first person that did that. But yeah, Maximum Spider-Man. I like the feel of this figure a lot. Again, it's very similar to the Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man in terms of the feel and the fluidity of the articulation and how you can move them around. And you're going to have a lot of fun posing this figure for sure. But there are problems. And not problems with the engineering or anything like that. Although I do think that the head and neck articulation could have still been a little better. But as you can see, these hands are fucking gorilla hands right here.
I noticed that immediately.
Yeah,
The
the hands
banana hands over here.
are crazy. Like I said, like we discussed, Rick, you had said you didn't like the head sculpt. But in person, the Peter Parker head sculpt is not too bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say even in this footage, it doesn't look as bad as like that promo image. He looked
he
out.
looked like he was hot.
He looked crazy.
Zach Parker.
Yeah, and you know what? Even with these hands, they're probably gonna photograph perfectly fine. But when you see him standing there, especially next to like Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man, you're just like, oh. But I'm sure like photography wise, it's gonna be perfectly fine.
I
Even
could
though they are big.
share a couple other little videos. I do have him next to I've got him next to the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man. I want y'all to take a look at that.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting that they did not have, because they had this AF-15 on display, right? They did that, or you did that?
No, I did that, and that again, I was again. This was the most. I've been to many toy fairs. This one seemed very buttoned up and very corporate. So the people that I was interacting with there, it wasn't like I was interacting with Dan and Dwight and Ryan, and like they were. I don't want to say they were corporate. Let's just leave it at that. That's all I'll say. So they didn't know what I knew and just assumed I was just like some like I don't know. I don't know what they thought I was. What they thought I was. But
It's interesting. I totally get why they were like clenched up at the sight of you pulling out other Spider-Man.
Oh, you know what she said to me was, "Is that Hasbro product?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, definitely. I wouldn't try to pull out something that wasn't Hasbro and match it up here with Hasbro." I'm like,
I mean, what did she think it was? She thought she was having a McDonald's and McDowell's type.
I don't know. I thought she thought it was just another company, and they were nervous about that.
They've heard
when I
tales of
pulled out-
Optimus Prime at the DC booth.
Right.
Yeah. But
When
shit,
I pulled out,
if we keeping it a buck, they probably were nervous even about you having other Spider-Man to put up against this Spider-Man, because no one else from Hasbro has done it, and they could if you're trying to justify having a all new, all different $49.99 Spider-Man, and to show to the consumers and to the fans like this is why he's worth double than the Spider-Man that you have on your shelf already. Why would you not do an apples to apples comparison? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that the answer is pretty simple.
Yeah,
because everybody has said it in all the comment sections.
Right.
People are just saying, like, obviously, especially with this right here, that, like, you know, articulation wise, cut wise, everything, they look pretty similar. Like
they look very similar, but I will say that the Maximum Spider-Man has the advantage, though.
I can see that for sure.
It may not look like that right here, right now. And again, Amazing Fantasy 15 is my top Spider-Man from Marvel Legends at this moment. At least the version that came in the 3-pack, because it has the more classic colors. But
if you sent P a picture of Renew Your Vows, if you have a photo of Renew Your
I got a video. I just put it in the chat.
Okay, I can share that soon.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, I wanted you to see that because it actually, first of all, when I pulled out the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, when I pulled out the Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man, and she asked me, was it Hasbro product? And I explained it. I pulled out the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man next, and I was like, actually, I had the opportunity to unveil this figure at some point. So yeah, it's definitely Hasbro product.
You should have said, "Do you know who you're talking to? I'm the guy who unveiled this Spider-Man."
Do you know who you're talking to? I invented figure photography. Get out of my way.
But look at Renew Your Vow Spider-Man next to this. It looks a little awkward and too big to me.
I can see that. Yeah, it does look larger for sure.
I like the chest placement more on the Maximum. See how you have the overhang of the ball joint chest on the Renew Your Vows? It looks cleaner Maximum by comparison. This does make that blue look a lot darker than I thought it was going to look on the Maximum Spider-Man.
Yeah. But even the way the mask head kind of sits on the Renew Your Vows, it's like, it's funny because when I got to unveil this figure, and when I saw Shartimus's reveal, which he had the Amazing Fantasy 15, he was feeling a certain type of way about his and was more interested in what I had and vice versa. And yeah, I do think the Amazing Fantasy 15 is the better figure. It's just more in tune with how Parker's build is and the comic books to me, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I opened my Renew Your Vows for the first time on like a week ago, 2 weeks ago on here. And one of the things that I did not like about that figure, and I don't like it now, is how like thick he looks. He's like a thick Spider-Man.
Right.
And I like the proportions more on the Maximum Spider-Man. Like he's leaner, he's more muscular. And the older Spider-Man looks like an older adult Peter. And even though I think Maximum is supposed to be adult Peter, he still looks like the scale, the size that my mind's eye Spider-Man is.
And I mean, look at those gigantic fucking feet. They stick out like a sore thumb. They're huge. It's crazy.
On the Renew Your Vows, you mean, right?
Yeah, those feet are huge.
So do I think it I mean, again, do I think it's worth $49.99? No. Do I think just looking at it on camera without having it in hand, do I feel like it's an upgrade from what many have already deemed the best Spider-Man in Marvel Legends? For sure.
Yeah, it's I will say unequivocally that it's an upgrade on whatever you think is the best Marvel Legends Spider-Man in terms of in every way possible. The fun fact, the posability, the amount of accessories that you get in one package, but it's not without its flaws. There are some big glaring flaws in this,
Mm-hmm.
and and the price is I don't think it's justifiable. I don't think it should have been $50. I think that was I don't know, maybe it was a last minute decision. It really doesn't matter what it was, but the sweet spot, like we've talked about many times, would have been 44. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just $6 less, $5 less, and they would have really had a hit. But again, my issues with this is the hands, the ungloved hands. While it's a great accessory, um, it's all one piece too. By the way, there's
Yeah.
no
No
wrist
articulation there.
articulation
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
on.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. They.
On these particular hands here.
Yeah.
yes, on these particular hands, that's a big no to me. The hands are too big. It's all one piece. They could have broke this down into four pieces basically. It could have been the two normal hands with um wrist articulation with a hinge basically, and the gauntlets could have just been a separate piece that you slide on. It could have all been, they could have broke it down better like that, and you're
Can I
paying $50.
Can I
So
ask you guys a question?
Mhm.
Something that I'm thinking about right now, what could have been a really cool take on what would have been a maximum Spider-Man. Remember how they had the swappable arms on Mr. Fantastic? How you could have like
Yeah.
stretched out arms and whatever arms. What if for maximum Spider-Man, you could have your regular Spider-Man, and then through like some cool swapping out of parts, you could have made him into your battle damaged Spider-Man
yeah,
all
Yeah.
in
That would have
one
been awesome.
package. You could have
that would be awesome, but that wouldn't be um a long-term lucrative thing for Hasbro. You know what I'm saying?
like because they can release battle damaged Spider-Man separately.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
Um,
I just think as I'm thinking about what would have made people, and again, it's kind of a stupid conversation to even have hypothetically because this shit is sold out now even twice on like restocks that came
Yeah.
in. But I do think it would have lended itself well to be the maximum Spider-Man because we're all used to seeing Peter in various forms of like his suit being tattered, the mask being tattered, his face being bruised and beat up. And we've seen some Legends figures come out with swappable parts, swappable arms, swappable lower torsos. So I think it could have been a cool approach to take. But yes, why do that when they can just add in some accessories and then sell the battle damaged Spider-Man later down the road for $25? When
yeah,
they
I
Yeah.
gotta.
as much money with as little parts as possible.
I've
Yeah.
also got another couple videos that I could share.
Yeah,
Um,
and we said it last time we had the big stream for this figure, but like, what can we even say? This thing's a wild success. It's crazy. This thing is the has been the biggest talk of the 6-inch toy world since the Engine of Vengeance. It's
And I know we could talk about this shit for like another hour, but I know we
oh for
got a
sure.
ton of product to get through. I just want to keep an eye on that too because
I
I
don't
know
think we
that
have to go through everything.
y'all will
yeah,
have
no, I really
No,
just
no, no.
wanted to touch on this and say some things on here that I'm not gonna say in my regular like reporting video or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We could double back to sorry, was that me? Mute this if you can. Sorry.
Oh, it is muted. Is it not? Can you
No,
hear?
it's not.
Oh, my fault. My fault.
There we go. There you go.
Yeah, I just wanted to share a couple of things on the stream that I wouldn't necessarily do in my more buttoned up video.
Well,
But yeah,
to be fair,
my
you guys could hear it. The audience could not hear it.
okay.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, it's in hand. It's fun. It's fun to mess around with. I just think that overall the choices of um accessories could have been pieced out better. The hands are too big. The unmasked head sculpt, I'm cool with the fact that they didn't include just his mask that he could hold in hand was you know
Yeah,
unfortunate. I feel like they dropped the ball on that. Um
that web ball effect is
yeah,
awful.
the web ball effect is whack, and yeah, just the price. But it's a very very good figure. The articulation is as good as Mafex. I think I'm not. Y'all know I be dissing Mafex, but I'm telling you, in hand, it's got a lot of fun factors. It's got a lot of character and personality. It's just they kind of sullied it and kind of like shot themselves in the foot a little bit with the $50 price tag.
But
Um,
did they though? Because
no,
again,
no,
shit,
it's
It's
sold out.
sold out. Yeah, it's sold out.
but
um,
what's
also,
funny? Seeing this video and
mm,
seeing him posed up in all these different ways with this stand is kind of like a kick in the nuts because including a stand like this also would have been something else to justify the price.
100%, and
Yeah,
they made it a
and
point to mention that the stand is sold separately.
yeah, and that is an absolutely hideous stand.
It is,
It is
but
a
Terrible.
hideous stand, but being able to get him in some of these like iconic poses that they have him in, if it is the maximum Spider-Man, and again, if they've had other figures that have been like deluxes that have come with stands like this, like I'm thinking about Black Widow,
yeah,
it could have been done.
it could have been done. You could definitely. It's not like the stand don't break down. They could have got it into a box
Yeah. Oh,
with
for
the,
sure.
you know, with it like a raised clamshell in the back and had this packed in the bottom like two trays or whatever. However they do it.
Yeah.
Um, The other thing too that I see a lot of people commenting about is that for $50, the web line should have been sculpted and this and that. I don't really care about the sculpted web lines. I did chat with Ryan for a second, and he made a funny joke and said there's no sculpted web lines in the comics or something to that effect or
Yeah,
whatever. But
I will say
um,
is like somebody who I obviously was not into the classic toy line as much as you guys were. Like I had a classic Spider-Man figure for sure, but
Mhm.
mhm,
like it was not my bread and butter like you guys. But like um I read a really interesting comment the other day that really put it into perspective. Like sculpted web lines were just back in the day uh a cool like a great shortcut for webline deco back in the day. It was just easier
mhm,
to do deco
Mhm.
with sculpted web lines. But now that the printing technology has gotten so advanced, you don't need that anymore. And
right.
to what it's exactly what you said. Like I can't imagine a suit where the web lines are sculpted like indented. Like if they did like if there was like if they did like a movie suit like Tobey Maguire or like Andrew Garfield and those and they could raise those, that would be cool. But like an indented webline suit, like I don't think that's in the comics either. Like I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah. In a real world business practical sense, doing the embedded web lines is dumb because this would be the only suit that would have it. So then that limits you for being able to go back and repaint this body, which is what Hasbro's true bread and butter is
Oh yeah,
when they want to use it for the symbiote, when they want to use it for Ben Riley, when they want to use it for whatever else. You know what I'm saying? Cosmic
Mhm.
Spider-Man. So having those, sculpted web lines, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot because you're limited to using it exclusively for that mold.
for
And
sure.
that's not what it
And
does. But
going back to what you were saying earlier, David, like
yeah.
when you were kind of like hoping and wishing for like Hasbro to come out the gate with like insanely new intuitive stuff, like everything new. Like I think
Mhm.
the like the unfortunate situation we're in right now is that is not Hasbro's business model at all. Their business model is more so small improvements over time instead of one radical improvement all at once, because it's just too expensive to do something like that. It's too big of a risk to do something like that, fiscally wise.
Had I brought that up at like, if I worked for corporate and brought that up at like a board meeting, I would have had a fucking cardboard box sitting on my desk.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What are you, stupid?
Yeah, that is not the business model, bro.
No.
Reuse. What is it? Reuse, recycle, whatever. What are the 3 R's?
Yeah.
That's their business.
Repurpose, reuse, recycle, repurpose, I think.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny that you say that, because the word that I'm getting is that they will not be reusing this buck to make a $25 Spider-Man, and that is an insane take.
I think there's a bit of a like I don't know how to explain it, but like it will happen, but in a sense with like, I didn't technically say that. Like, it's not going to be on a $25 buck, because by the time this comes out on a $25 Marvel Legends will be $25 anymore. It'll come out on a $27 figure, or like, God forbid, Marvel Legends are $30 by that point or whatever. Like, I don't see a future where they specifically soft lock this behind a $50 price point. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And like they've said like so much stuff over the years that they just kind of like double back. Not like nefariously, obviously, like things happen.
Yeah, this was you're not thinking this is a master plan. Dwight's not sitting there like, okay, 4 years from now we're releasing this son of a bitch at $29.99.
Yeah,
and we'll get him again.
Yeah, so like for brevity, like all the stuff I'm about to say, like I don't think any of this is going to be like done out of malice or anything. Just like stuff happens, right? So like I'm sure now the plan is to never is like, hey, this is a $50 buck. We're going to keep it at $50, and we're not like, it doesn't make sense to put it on $25 or like a lower tier version of Marvel Legends, right? But I think eventually it's going to come to that for sure. And we were talking about it in like our DMs, but like the whole, like the entire like cloud surrounding Maximum Spider-Man is like, it's just like PR wise, everybody is like on eggshells. Like they have to work overtime. Like, you think that they really have to do like some crazy gymnastics like every time they do a stream, and like make like old molds with new decos seem like super cool. You think they're like really like flexing their like PR muscles then? Like, they really had to like put in some serious work for this, because like convincing people that this is $50 is like hard work. For sure, absolutely. And, like,
I mean, yeah, yes and no, because again, we keep reverting back to the same conclusion or talking point that like it's still sold out. So maybe not.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think there's a big difference between like it selling out and people are happy about it, like truly 100% happy, like this is my $50, I'm putting it towards it, like this is so worth it, versus like, I don't think this is worth $50, but I'll buy it anyway, right? Like but to them, obviously, that's the same thing. It doesn't matter. They got our money. But like, to finish out my statement, I'm just saying like just the whole like social media rollout for Maximum Spider, you can really tell that they were just like treading very carefully. Like, the biggest thing is because they didn't talk about the price until it went up for pre-order. Like you could really tell that they were just like, hey, if we say anything that could sour this release, don't say it at all. Like, don't talk about it. Don't talk about the price. Don't talk about the fact that it has basically the same cuts as other figures we have. But, do mention that it's a brand new sculpt, but like, it's like all that stuff. It's like, it's good. It's like it's a masterclass of like PR, basically. It's pretty crazy.
Really quick before I forget, I believe them that we will not see this figure, because the wording is the key. I don't think we will see this figure sold individually for $25. I agree with that. I do think we will see this figure again with a redeco, packaged in different ways so that it does not make a $25 price point. Now,
Yeah.
and someplace that comes to mind right away is the upcoming Marvel versus Capcom 2 waves. I can 100% see them stripping all of those accessories down, re-releasing this same exact figure in the lighter blue from Marvel versus Capcom, and then pairing him with one of the characters from that game, and then selling it at $49.99. And the justification is you don't get any of the accessories that came with this. You just get a Spider-Man, some interchangeable hands, and then another figure that offsets the cost. That could be bigger, smaller, whatever the case may be. But I can 100%
Mega Man.
I like that. they're not doing. Yeah, the cool thing about these Marvel versus Capcom 2-packs is that it's just Marvel and Marvel.
Okay.
So some of the lineups that we've seen are just 2 Marvel characters, but they're going to be in those colors. So I think Venom has already been leaked as one of the ones that's coming out, because releasing that Venom and this Spider-Man in those colors as a Marvel versus Capcom 2-pack, people would pay whatever for that.
Yeah, I could see that. But like I said, again, it's a very nice figure. It'll be fun. It's a lot of fun factor. You'll have a good time swapping and mixing and matching and kit bashing with previous releases and stuff like that. But the rollout or the pack out here, I just it could have been better. It could have been a lot better. And one collector's disposable income to the others is just not the same. And as we've been saying for the past like 5 years, some people are gonna get priced out of the hobby at some point. Like it is what it is. Either you want to like eat or you want to collect. Like, you know what I mean? It's not a necessity. It's not something that you need. So my wife's pointing at me saying I'm going to get priced out of the hobby.
Hilarious.
She said, "You next."
Really quick, another place that this Spider-Man can show up where it's not $25 are in box sets. Whether that be SDCC, whether that be they don't do New York Comic-Con box sets anymore. But
I honestly hear what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense. But I honestly don't. I think they're going to be pretty like buttoned up with this and stingy with it. I don't see.
You're
how
saying
that
you,
could
you
benefit.
don't think that this is ever going to leave the Maximum line itself? Like maybe the body would be used again, but in Maximum again.
Right. That's what I think.
That's what
That's
you're saying?
more reasonable.
I'm not paying $50 for, and it's my favorite Spider-Man. I'm not paying $50 for a symbiote Spider-Man on the same body. I like, because there are no accessories that are going to come with that are going to make me want to pay $50 for that.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that yet.
But I'm just saying, though, think about it through this lens, Boog. If this is the epitome of the best Spider-Man, the only way now that you're going to buy all the different redecos and everything else for this Spider-Man will be through the Maximum line. And outside of that, they just sit on this buck and do nothing else. And the only way to get the Black Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider-Man, Kane, whatever Spider-Man you could think of, and a cell-shaded Spider-Man, the only way that you have an access point to this buck is through the Maximum line? Nah.
I mean, it depends. It depends what they start doing to expand the Maximum line with other characters too. So,
and if they use this for a black suit, they really need to like. I don't know if I call it cell shading, but they really need to do that blue shading to make that cost make sense. Because a straight black plastic figure,
they could kill it with a black suit with the additional accessories, man. They could kill it.
The accessories could be crazy. Could be crazy.
I know that we'll see this body again for Daredevil. That's a no-brainer. So maybe I'm looking at it through the wrong lens. Maybe it's that they're saying this buck won't be seen at the $25 price point. I don't know. But then again, it's like how many different characters that warrant a Maximum pack out would you purchase at this $49.99 price point before it stales the community, before the community gets like tired of this?
Yeah.
Because not every character is going to have the popularity that Spider-Man does.
Right.
that Hulk is going to be interesting to see.
I mean, yeah, if
price
Hulk
and
is
how
part
that
of
does.
the line, that's going to be very interesting to see how they do that. But
Yeah.
again, fun factor is there. The posability is there. Is it really built from the ground up and something revolutionary that we never seen before? No.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's different in the pelvic area for Marvel Legends. You do get the drop down. We've had the drop down with other Marvel Legends figures as of late, though, too, right? The drop down hips.
Drop down hips aren't exclusive to this.
Yeah, they've been around. Yeah.
Okay. So there was that. Um, but yeah, it's nothing really revolutionary here. I have to concede that, and I have to be real about that. It's not revolutionary, but it's very good. It is very good, and it would have felt a lot better if it was 43, $44. So
All right. Let's
uh,
look at some of the other things. I got really excited seeing their X-Force Warren Worthington.
yeah, we should check out Lago's page for that. He did actually send me his same videos, but I'm sure his videos are just posted on P if you want to just check out Lago real quick. I don't want to spend too much more time. I want us to get out of here at 10:30, honestly, but we'll double back to everything. But yeah, they unveiled the X Force Archangel at this event as well.
I'm not sure
This
if
stuff
it's
was on display. I do have video of that. That was the Nemesis wave. It was funny. One of the reps that I was talking to today that was
Mhm.
like walking me through, he kept saying Nemesis, like AKA Holocaust. And like I was like, all right, dude. Like you said it like
Right.
4 or 5 times. I was just like, all right, man. Yeah, I know that's the comic name, but like,
It's like, are you showing off your knowledge
right.
of this, or are
Yeah,
you
yeah,
an
yeah.
Elon Musk fan? What are you
Don't
doing?
you
What are you
know his
doing?
name was Holocaust?
What you doing, bro? All right, yeah. All right. I am excited for that Nemesis wave. It's a lot of gems in that wave, and I'm
Mhm.
so excited to have that Marrow.
Danny found the Wolverine at GameStop the other day.
Yeah,
I saw he had it, but I didn't speak to him since he opened it or what have you. But
yeah. I've seen a lot of people like find pieces of the wave at GameStops, but I've never seen anybody find the whole wave together. But
mhm.
I've seen them find like individual ones at GameStop. Like I've seen
Yeah, this
Wolverine
Cyclops is nice. Yeah,
and
I don't even think they ship waves like that anymore, like all together. I
yeah,
not at
right.
GameStop.
think
No.
but shit, not even at Target or at Walmart. You can find like they send them in like bunches, which is
Mm.
weird.
Hasbro Pulse on Facebook has the stock images of the Archangel. If you want to just do that.
Okay.
Well, this wave looks really good. Before you leave, I'm really like, there's a lot of winners in this wave. I'm
Mhm.
glad that they dug back in the crates and gave us that Age of Apocalypse Gambit. Got a few more people on that team to flesh out, and I hope that they finish it.
Yeah, I hope we get to finish out the villains.
Yeah,
X-Force
Um,
Nightcrawler was a fucking menace.
yeah. He was a
Love it.
he was a mean guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm really excited to have this. I like these wings, but I also like the wings from the deluxe Archangel. And
yeah, where they were like shiny.
yeah, well, I have the SDCC of this.
Right.
So yeah, I do have the shiny wings to put that I use with that one because we've seen both looks of these wings. So for me, this works really well for X-Force, and this is how I will display him, but I'll still keep my other one because I like those metallic wings because he had that look in the Jim Lee style.
What body are we looking at here?
Is this Vulcan?
Is it the same body that they use for the Angel?
Yeah, because he doesn't have the
No butterfly joints, right?
butterfly for the
Yeah, no
wing.
butter. Yeah, they said whenever anybody has like a thing on the back like that, like wings or whatever, that the butterfly's not going to happen.
Mm.
But I mean, I'll forgive it because it's got so much other stuff going on that I think it's like a trade-off that makes sense. We've seen them not put butterfly joints on other figures that should have had them that didn't have this wing situation going on in the back. So at least there's a justification for this.
Yeah, again, kind of skimping out though. We should have had the flat sort of open palms with this for flight. It's only 2 sets of hands, 2 heads. Obviously, it was a lot of, I guess, engineering and new things that they did here with the wings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we were long overdue for a redo on this guy. I'm wondering if you could fit the old SDCC wings on here and mess around with them in some type of way. The engineering is not as good, obviously, but yeah, I'm wondering.
I don't know. But the cool thing is, and I need somebody who has a better memory than me. Maybe somebody can sound off in the chat. Do we have? It looks like there's no deco on these black hands. So was there a figure that came with the karate chop hands that we could sub in to make flying hands for this?
Some black karate chop hands.
Yeah, we got a few things that we could use for just black hands. The Professor X, the House of X, Professor X had a couple of different configurations, hand configurations. There was
Oh, but
somebody else.
his are like semi-splayed. They're not like straight. But there's got to be somebody with fucking.
He's got the pointing hand though.
He's got a pointing hand though. Yeah, he's got a pointing.
Let's go look.
There's got to be somebody.
It was somebody else though, for sure.
Yeah, like that.
With all black. But yeah, it's a good looking figure. I'm hoping that they continue to update these teams. There's like 4 different versions of this X-Force to Uncanny X-Force crew that they need to update. Hopefully, we'll get an updated Psylocke on one of these new female bodies, so she'll have the great articulation like a ninja should.
Yeah, we really need a new Phantom X. We need
new Phantom X. Yeah,
we need a who else from that squad? That's Remender's run, right? We need
I mean,
another Deathlock would be sick.
They got a few that they could do that'll be first timers too, like Elixir.
Yeah, Elixir.
We could get a new Domino.
Yeah, I haven't had a Domino in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely need the Wolf's Bane.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
because that'll round out that 4.
Yeah, that whole team will be done.
The original team was only 4 members. It was Wolfsbane, Warpath, X-23, and Wolverine. So we getting Warpath and X-23 2-pack, and I'm sure they'll update Wolverine. And yeah,
that Warpath, I'm not excited about it, bro.
Yeah,
I want to be. I really like that character. I like that look, but that figure is I don't know. And I'm not somebody who typically trips off of pinless joints, but when it's very obvious in a figure like that, I don't like buying new old shit. You know what I'm saying? And this feels like some new old shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I got quite a bit of audio and video and stuff. I'll be doing like some little updates throughout the week and continuing to put out the footage and stuff that I have and talking about this. And we'll double back to get a full scope of Toy Fair 2 on the next episode. They revealed the STCC G.I. Joe pack already.
That's wild. Did you ask them why that's revealed so early and why everything else isn't revealed until fucking
I did not, but I did get one of the reps talking about it a bit, some audio of it. But yeah, I don't know what that was about, why it was so early and why they felt the need to put that out. But the G.I. Joe stuff, as usual, was looking very, very good in person. Everything that they had on display looked really good.
Yeah, that mech suit, the fucking fireman.
Yeah, the mech suit is crazy. It'll be interesting to see what Valorverse does, because I know that Bobby's been like, there have been rumblings about him making a mech suit. So now that the classified team has released theirs and shown what it looks like, and that a figure can fit inside of it, that's a major flex.
Yeah, he might as well scrap his shit.
Well, competition. They say competition breeds whatever the fuck the rest of that.
Yeah, it can breed better product.
Yeah, so we'll see. But being able to fit a figure inside of that definitely is going to push that mech suit up to like vehicle pricing. I don't anticipate that will be a cheap one to add to your collection. I am curious to hear, because I know that you're a big G.I. Joe fan. What are your thoughts on Cole Slither being the SDCC exclusive?
I mean, it's honestly, and for SDCC exclusives, that is a good exclusive. Really, it makes sense. It's not some shit that you need in your collection, but it's so like niche and like different that it's a perfect exclusive. Like it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's definitely a deep cut. In the Joe community so far, people have been kind of like, you can tell who are like the real Joe fans and who are the people that are kind of like, who the fuck is this? Like, who are these rock star people? And so there's that divide. But for the most part, everybody's been really receptive and happy about it. So I think it's cool. For me, I don't need it, but I respect that they are releasing it, and I respect that it is a really good deep cut exclusive.
I think that they should have given them some different hands though. Come on now. This is the time where they should have definitely had some different hands.
I don't even know if I paid attention to the hands with the
Yeah, I don't think I paid enough attention. Really limited there?
It looks like it's just the regular
The gripping
trigger fingered hands.
But they come with guitars and shit, so they don't have like,
yeah, I mean, so it could work. Like, you could hold and it could still look like they strumming a guitar, but still would have been cool for something different. Look.
What's really cool, or what would be cool, and I'm a beat this fucking drum till the end of time. I really wish they would bring back New York Comic-Con exclusives and box sets like they used to have back in the day. And if they're gonna do Cole Slither for San Diego Comic-Con, I don't even know if they had a name, but remember that episode where like Snake Eyes and Shipwreck and the Timber dressed up as they were in a band to sneak into Cobra headquarters?
I remember that, yeah.
It would be dope shit if you could get Cole Slither at SDCC, and then you could get the Joes when they dressed up as a band as the New York Comic-Con exclusive.
Listen, man, that could quite possibly be a thing.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. But I could see a lot of people picking this up just for the accessories here. You know what I mean? The guitars and the drum set is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is cool. This is what SDCC is all about. A deep cut, get all of these guys in at one fell swoop, and for the people who pass on this, that is going to, in my opinion, drive up the like rarity and the value of this on the secondary market, the collector market, because this is a one and done. You know what I'm saying? So this is really cool.
Yeah. Also, I did peek at the Star Wars stuff while I was in there, and some of that newer stuff did look really good. Some of the stuff with the soft goods and some of the vintage collection stuff, I did get a video of it, so I'll put that out as well. And yeah, we'll continue to talk about the stuff coming out of Toy Fair. Toy Fair is still going on, by the way. There's still 2 more days. It runs through Tuesday. So,
yeah, it's just not like Comic-Con where there's like a new reveal every day or something.
Right, yeah, it's not like that. Although I did hear through the grapevine that we might get something on the Legends front on Tuesday.
Okay, nice. There is one thing I wanted us to talk about before we leave. The bane of our existence is finally over.
What's that?
McFarlane lost the DC license,
Yes,
and we should talk about that before we
So
leave.
fill us in on that from the just the business news side of things.
Yeah, the business side of it is that they were obviously pitched by Mattel for the DC license, and they decided to go back. And Dan, who earlier this week, I did not catch the live, but people were linking me to it, talking to me about it, like, "Hey, man, you should watch what he's saying." But he just had a live with somebody who was in the industry, saying that the first time that McFarlane got the license, it was a fluke.
Mhm.
That Mattel backed out at the 11th hour, and DC didn't know what to do. They had no one to make any figures for the product. Who was going to have it? Hasbro. It wasn't going to happen that way because
Mm.
they have Marvel. And that McFarlane made a pitch and they went with it.
Wow.
Um, and that Mattel had backed out at the final hour just because of how dark DC was getting and Snyder's vision for things and whatnot. And
Mm. Okay.
obviously they're going in a completely different direction now. So Mattel gave their pitch, and DC's into it, and that's going to be that from what we know right now. McFarlane and Spin Master will have the license up until McFarlane is mid next year, and Spin Master has it till the end of 2026.
Yeah.
So don't expect anything super soon. Maybe we'll see first protos at Comic-Con, but as far as releases go, McFarlane has until mid next year, and Spin Master will have until the end of 2026 to get their stuff out there. So this is fucking crazy.
It'll be
And this
interesting to see what Todd does, because in my mind, I think this motherfucker may do just a series of like machine gun styled releases and just get everything out. Because already I saw like a proto of a new Batmobile.
yeah, the Rebirth Batmobile, yeah.
And so this could, for those McFarlane collectors who really, and then you know what? This has kind of split the community in a weird way, because there are a lot of people that are like upset about this. And I've seen pictures of people going in and buying up all the McFarlane product on the shelves because they're anticipating that the value of this stuff will increase even more. It's been interesting. Like, people have been coming out and going to bat for Todd. And like I said, I was not in on this line to begin with, but I did fold and ended up getting just the main Justice Leaguers, like the main.
Yeah.
And wow, it's been funny to see people go back and get like some of those old figures from like 13 years ago, from when Mattel had the DCUC line.
Mm-hmm.
They've been like, McFarlane loyalists have been like, this is what you guys want to go back to. This is your king. And they'll like show some of that old articulation. To their surprise, though, a lot of people have been like, yeah, like we would, like, yeah, like Mattel, that was a long time ago. Mattel puts out good quality product. They're Universe, they're
Masters of the Universe. The wrestling ultimates are fantastic.
Yeah.
They're I hope they're going to do great stuff. My only hope going forward is that they have we don't know the length, but I hope it's for a fucking long time, man. I don't think anybody is happy with like getting really into a line and then the line being snatched away from you like that.
The Ultimates, really the Wrestling Ultimates line is 6-inch scale, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know how Mattel is. They're kind of bigger, but this is a fresh start. This is a fresh start, so they could do their best to get to a more Legends style scale.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, WWE has been going on for a long time. The Elite line has been going on for like fucking 20 years at this point. So I don't imagine that they'd ever switch, but they could with this one do their best to stick to the American sense of 112 with the DC license. I do just hope that this is a long-term contract. I hope that this is like 10 years so that people aren't left, with an incomplete feeling, because it does suck that so many people got into this McFarlane line and then this is it, stripped away from you. It is rough, and his stuff is like, it's really starting to pick up. Like, a lot of his stuff resells for good money because he does that whole variant shit. platinum edition or whatever. So it you know, it's
He also does short runs on all the female figures.
yeah, he does shorter runs on females, and
That makes their value go up. But the
it,
good thing is with Mattel getting the line is that Mattel's wrestling figures and their Masters of the Universe stuff is very affordable.
yes,
All of those figures come with multiple accessories. They'll come with multiple heads, and all of those shits are at a price point lower than Legends.
Mm.
So that's
Interesting.
interesting. But I do hope they make vehicles. That was something that Todd did a really good job of those really big figures, and he made some cool vehicles for the DC line.
yeah.
Mattel's going to have to step their game up in that
Yeah, I
regard.
wonder if he'll do a mad dash and put out some of that stuff that people really been waiting for, like the Batcave. Even though I
Yeah,
already
now
said it
now now the Batcave is a question. I don't know. You know,
right.
I hope he gets that done before it's all said and done. And there's a lot of really expensive Batman the Animated Series figures that are still not re-released yet. Like that, I have it, so it's not the end of the world if I don't get it because he's my favorite Batman villain. But Ventriloquist's price is astronomical.
Mm.
To not
Wow.
get that out would be a huge mistake, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
A lot of people also still want a re-release of the animated Gray Ghost.
yeah, Gray Ghost, yeah, that's another big one.
Sells for a lot on the secondary.
It's gonna be interesting to see what he does in this like final, 12 or so months
Yeah.
with this license. It's really a shame, but he did bounce back a little bit, because this was all revealed pre Toy Fair. We knew that we were at least gonna hear about this one during Toy Fair's like happenings and whatnot. But he did announce that he got Mortal Kombat, something that nobody else has been able to do. Only Todd could secure that one.
Todd Father.
Um,
And really, I don't even think he addressed losing the license. Like he kept the shit pimping because he also rolled out a new line of the DC multiverse shit with two figures that people have really been asking about in Black Canary and Hawk Girl.
Mm.
yeah,
So he kind of was like pimping because he released the Mortal Kombat news and then released a new line, showed
Well,
that
I
new
mean, it's
Batmobile.
not like he's running away, like tucking his tail or
yeah,
putting
Not
his
at
head
all.
down in shame or some shit. It's a lot of people bought those figures and will continue to buy them, and they're going to continue to sell and go up if with the impending loss of the license. And him look, so I'm sure he's okay.
Yeah, he'll live. And
Right.
who knows? Somebody else will fuck with him again because I would say that what he did with the DC line, he did a lot better than a lot of people thought he would. And the line has been doing well. It sells well.
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, we've speculated on air many times, but if there was any time for you to go to a financial institution and say, "Hey, I want to buy Gentle Giant and Diamond," it would be now. And you make a huge bounce back doing something like that and getting that 7-inch Marvel license without any effort.
Yeah.
Would be a big flex.
Mm. All right, let's kind of wrap this up. Anything we watching? I still haven't seen Captain America, but what about you
Oh,
guys?
big things before, we're gonna have a great Friday show coming up this week because Daredevil comes out this Wednesday,
Okay,
baby.
nice, nice.
Technic yeah, so it's gonna be good.
Hmm.
It's gonna be
I've
good.
been
I can't wait.
I saw so many ads for Daredevil today alone, but okay, got it.
They pushing it. Marvel is really, really pushing Daredevil heavy. I think that also may have something to do with the success of this R-rated Deadpool. I think that Disney is recognizing that their fan base has grown up and they don't have to do people in dresses and princess focused stuff, that
Hmm.
they have a core audience now that spends money that likes this kind of shit.
Yeah,
So they've been pushing Daredevil really hard, much harder than Netflix did, and Netflix also did a good job of promoting that show.
they
So
did, they did. Yep, yep. Um, Anything else we should be looking out for in terms of television, movies?
Um,
in the anime world, if you are not watching Solo Leveling, season 2 is up and running. If you have not started Solo Leveling, I highly recommend it. In my opinion, it's a really cool anime that's out right now, made by a Korean animation company that I don't know the name of, but
Yeah,
really,
based on a Korean manga, which is referred to as manhwa.
yeah, it's a really good show though. Really good show. I'd highly recommend it. And for live action stuff, if you are not watching Paradise with Sterling K. Brown on Amazon, I highly recommend it. It's a really good show. Some sci-fi elements. I think people would like it.
Oh, you know what was really big this weekend, yesterday, was wrestling. I'm not going to get into the whole spiel of it, but huge goings on over there. 20 years in the making. It was a crazy time. Travis Scott was in the middle of the ring smoking a blunt and punched the absolute dog shit out of Cody Rhodes and did not hold back. That was pretty insane. Watching that back is kind of crazy. But yeah, there was a great elimination chamber yesterday. Huge turn by Johnny wrestling himself, John Cena.
Hey, you want to know what's crazy? You know who was there at that what was it? It wasn't a WrestleMania, right?
It was elimination chamber.
Okay. Well, you know who was there sitting ringside, and I guess the rumor is they requested not to be on camera, not to be called out that they were in attendance.
It was
our boy Aubrey Graham.
Yeah, Toronto's very own Drizzy Drake was there, and was not shouted out, but it was funny because other Toronto artists were, and whatnot. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
How long do you think he's gonna hide? Like, when does this end for him? Is it completely over or what?
Well, you saw he canceled his tour in New Zealand.
I canceled that shit too, man.
I don't know. This album did good for like a day or two. His latest album, and then it just fell off really quickly with streams. So I don't know. He's got some work to do. Today I was listening to some music and getting some work done, and the song with him and J. Cole came on. What is that shit called? The one where they were like big as the Super Bowl, whatever. And even hearing the lyrics, I was just shaking my head like, damn, y'all had no fucking clue what this dude Kendrick Lamar had up his sleeve, because y'all had a whole song where the chorus is talking about how y'all linking up is bigger than the Super Bowl, and this motherfucker went and did the Super Bowl in the same year that song came out. That's some prophetic shit right there.
Wild times.
Wild times.
All right. Hey, wait. Before we go, I did not forget all of you. There was many super chats.
Yeah. Let's. I'll sign them off.
Yeah.
First, Captain McKay Random hit us with a great super chat. He said, "What's up, gentlemen? TOYFAIR had no business swinging from my wallet the way it did. Lots of great stuff on offer. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. You know I'm buying that Dr. Doom helmet today."
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I did get real close up. They was letting you put the helmets and shit on inside.
And you didn't put it on?
I didn't put it on though.
Bro, risk the life, bro. Risk the life.
Risk the life.
I normally pass on stuff like that as I'm looking at my Black Panther helmet over here, but that shit looks amazing.
Yo, the actual cow on the Dr. Doom helmet is super duper premium. Like, that shit is very nice.
You hear that, Brian?
Nice.
You hear that, Brian?
Made out of the finest Latvian.
So basically, yeah. I've never bought one of those premium role play kind of helmet things or whatever, but they had me considering it. The Doom was really nice, man.
Yo, what if they say some slick shit and they're like, yo, we lined it with satin so your lady can double it as a bonnet?
Now you're fucking speaking my language.
Oh shit!
But I'm saying the cow alone is like some shit that you would want a full like hoodie made out of though. Like it was fucking nice.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got on there.
Well, more super chats because he brought up all the things that they showed.
Shelf Presence hit us with a super chat as well, saying, "Have a great weekend, gents. TOYFAIR has been fire, incredible. Thank you so much."
Hell yeah, thank you so much, Shelf Presence.
Bo Biggs, the man, the myth, hit us with a super chat as well. Once again, no words, don't need them.
What a guy, that Bo Biggs.
Shout out to Bo. I spoke to him on Instagram briefly too.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hendo L hit us with a super chat with Praise hands, hell yeah! Praise the Lord, baby. Let's go.
Hell yeah, Hendo is an old school name. Shout out to Hendo.
Let's go.
My man P said, "Praise the Lord." I like
Praise
that.
the Lord, baby.
It's Sunday, brother.
Carlos Aron hit us with a super chat as well. He said, "Hey guys, much love. Just wanted to say hi and remind y'all that Mortal Kombat was definitely a movie. Absolutely. Out of all the movies I've ever seen, it was one.
And there's let me tell you what, of all the movies that got a sequel, that's going to be one of them.
It is.
And Johnny Cage is almost 60 years old in it. Great.
Oh my god.
Is he really?
I like old Johnny Cage though, honestly.
It's Carl Urban.
Yeah, I don't mind. So quick segue, like in what was it, Mortal Kombat 11, where they did the time travel stuff? Was that 11? I can't remember.
Where Johnny was older?
Yeah, and he was like messing with like his younger self too. Yeah. I liked that old John. That was like a good dynamic.
Yeah, because X was with Jason Voorhees and all of those guys, right?
Yeah, X was like on like PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah,
and stuff
so
like
then
that.
it was 11. You're right.
Yeah. But I like that dynamic of like older Johnny Cage. But I think I like him so much is because he was so annoyed with how annoying regular Johnny Cage is. So like I don't know if it'll have the same effect if it's just old Johnny Cage just being old. I don't know. We'll see.
Interesting. Hey, you know what though? Now that you bring that up, that could be the version of Johnny Cage that Carl Urban is playing. Because that Johnny Cage was in the military and everything with Sonya, right?
I think so. What? I can't. You know what? I don't know.
I think that he was from like they were in a future, because in the beginning, I think that's the one that had the intro where they were in the helicopter and shit and it crashes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think he was a soldier.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. They form like a outworld, anti-outworld defense post or whatever.
Some shit.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was a good Johnny Cage. I can see Carl Urban doing that.
Be cool. But you know, when that movie comes it'll definitely be one of the movies that comes out that year for sure.
No question.
W. Donna Pops, it is with a generous super chat as well. He said they should alternate between heroes and villains for the Maximum series, going all out with accessories. I agree,
dude. That would be ideal, honestly. Just I think that getting villains in that form would be fucking incredible.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot then. What would be the first villain you would want to see in the Maximum?
Green Goblin, 100%.
Yeah, probably Green Goblin. I was gonna say Hobgoblin, but that's fucking same difference, you know.
Yeah, well, they could do. Oh my god, could you imagine like the Buck, and then they just have soft goods for Green and Hobgoblin, and then different masks? That would be insanely expensive, and there's no way they'd ever do that. But that would be the way to go.
That would be insane. And I mean, we've heard rumors of the Venom, so there's that. So no saying that.
I like calling him the Venom. I like
the Venom.
If they do Venom, it's like I would like it to be the base Buck, and then like 3 heads, like the Venom head, and then like a Eddie Brock head, and then like a not necessarily half and half, but like one where like Venom is like overtaking the head or some shit like that, and then he needs to come with like mad arms, with like all the shit on him.
Yeah, like that, like a not really a backpack, but like a cover, like with a bunch of fucking like the different heads that come out and whatnot. I had a figure in the 90s that did that. You'd press a button and like heads would pop out of his back, like talking to him and shit. I would really love, shout out to Zach Oat and the boys over at Diamond, but I would really love a Maximum series Doctor Doom with a fucking throne, man. That would be
that would be dope.
That would be great. You can give us a
y'all going way over this $50 price range. You talking about thrones and shit.
Hey, they can keep the stand, man.
You say that, I can hear the haters clenching their cheeks together right now to shit on it by saying the Marvel Select Doom did come with a throne
for $20 some odd.
$20 some odd. It's true. It was hollow, but it was good, and it's still being repurposed to this day.
Tell them to keep the stands, keep the spider webs, and give us a throne instead.
Nah, but Green Goblin is definitely something that could be pimped out nicely. I could see that for sure.
Would an Apocalypse work as a Maximum figure?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Just trying to think, though, because we got that like retro carded one.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty big, but I I don't remember.
I mean, the retro carded one was basically just the Build-A-Figure, basically.
And
Kind of in a new deco.
The new
a,
deco, yeah.
a maximum Magneto with a cloth goods cape
Yeah,
and
I feel like y'all
different helmet
talked about that
styles.
last time in terms of really leaning into the soft goods with the Maximum
You
line.
have
That would make sense.
Yeah,
And
I asked.
don't give me anybody with a fucking cape that is not a soft goods cape and try to pass that shit off as Maximum. Don't
Yeah,
even like
Yeah.
not once.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
I asked Ryan the other day. I asked him if they would let him pick whatever figure he wanted for Maximum. He gave the answer that you'd imagine because he's such a big Gambit fan. He said Gambit.
Mm,
So Gambit Maximum would be incredible too, outside of the villains, but
yeah.
that'd be great too.
I just want to say, like, and I know we trying to wrap, but I don't know. I just don't know if I could see some of that shit backfiring, and I don't know if people would be willing to pay $49.99 for some of these characters that we're naming out right now.
I don't know. I think Doctor Doom, Magneto, Venom, Green Goblin, those are pretty good. You could use that Spider-Man buck on a. Oh, maybe he wouldn't do well, but you could use that Spider-Man buck on a Silver Surfer. Just switch the head, give him a surfboard, give him a bunch of like cosmic shit.
People are not paying $50 for.
Yeah, they're not gonna do it for a.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no.
I'm just thinking about like accessories and things. Like, think about, because to P's point that he's brought up and it's drilled into my head now. You have this same figure on your shelf right now for $25. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they could do with some of these. Like, I don't know what you can do with a Gambit, because to me, soft goods jacket is not going to be enough for.
No, you gotta do a shitload of cards.
Yeah, a lot of
you
cards.
you gotta do the long hair head, the put up hair head. You could there's different things you could do. I think everything we named besides me saying Silver Surfer would sell well enough. I think a Green Goblin would do fine. I mean, if fucking Spider-Man did this well, like, I think a Green Goblin would do fine. I think Magneto would do well. That I think everything besides maybe that Gambit and the Silver Surfer, maybe those are a reach, but I think all the other ones are pretty solid.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom, I think, would do really well.
Doctor Doom would do well, but we just got the Cabal Doom, and he had a soft goods cape in that 3-pack. It wasn't the greatest, and we also had that single carded retro Doctor Doom. Yeah, it may have been an exclusive.
That thing goes for almost $100 now.
I don't even think I opened mine. I think I still have that. I don't think I ever opened the exclusive Doom with the soft goods.
Yeah, that Doctor Doom that comes in like the retro card.
Yeah, it came in like a box. It came in like one of those like.
Yeah, in a mailer. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Everything is $100 and up on that one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a really beloved Doom. Get it with a lot of magic effects. Even if you don't do the throne, although I would want one. Do books and shit. Different head sculpts. You could do a gauntlet hand. Plenty of things you can do.
They could double back on Doctor Strange while they at it.
I was just about to say Doctor.
Now
Strange.
you're speaking my language.
Like soft goods capes and a shit ton of like dark magic based accessories.
Mm-hmm. They could repurpose his little dog buddy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Bats. Wolverine, I think, is imminent. I think that'll happen pretty quickly in this Maximum line, and you do a shitload of things with that.
You know what they should do with these accessory loadouts is start doing the DLC. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, hell yeah.
Something that would go to something from the regular line and shit.
I don't know what that is. What is DLC?
Like let's say they do a Venom.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy that Venom, it could come with like a horrified Peter Parker face.
Oh, so something that accessorizes with something that you already have in your collection.
Correct.
Yeah. Specifically like Maximum tailored though would be interesting.
Interesting. That's not a bad idea, because then you have kind of like a must buy. This is the only way to get it type thing.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
DBZ does that very often.
I love that fucking DLC shit. I mean, Marvel Legends has done it here and there, but I personally fucking love that shit. I love it when they do that because it feels so connected and like it feels well thought out. Even if it wasn't, I like it. I like it when they do that.
I like it too.
Yep.
All right. With that said, thank you to everybody for hanging out with us this evening. I don't know if we're gonna double back tomorrow, but
We'll do Friday, I'm sure.
yeah, but we'll be back for Friday, and we'll lay out everything from Toy Fair that once it's wrapped up on Tuesday, we'll be able to lay out everything and whatever else comes throughout this week.
Yeah, we'll talk Daredevil. There's just plenty.
Yeah,
talk on Friday.
Plenty to talk about for sure.
Hey, y'all better circle back and talk about all those fucking releases and reveals from Loyal Subjects. Is that the name of the company?
Yeah, Loyal Subjects. Yeah.
Yo, they did like 80s nostalgia overload with Mask. They had
the Mask guys. Yeah.
Right. They had My Pet Monster. They had Jim and the fucking holograms. Like they went ham.
Yeah, come back on Friday.
Loyal Subjects had an open booth too. It wasn't a lot of red tape and stuff too.
Yeah,
I did see that.
Jazzware showed off a new 6-inch line of clothed goods Avatar: The Last Airbender figures. I'm in.
Wow.
Sold.
Yeah, Jazzware's had an open booth as well.
So yeah, lots of stuff, lots of reveals. Get your money up because yeah, a lot of new product will be dropping this year and in the 26th. So good on them. Good job, Toy Fair.
All right. Again, like I said, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the super chats. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell down there. And until next time, peace. Stay tuned for more. I got a lot of stuff to put up.
Am I?
Yeah, not at all.
All right. So are you going back? You want to try to sneak back down there